And we are back at the OPP, the Organic Perspective. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Most High Yahuwah for this opportunity. Without him, none of this would be possible. All power, honor, and glory belongs to him, and he does as he pleases with it. My people, que lo que hay, mi gente, ya tú sabes what's going on. You know what I'm talking about? So, in today's episode, we are going to continue part two from the episode we did last week, and basically what it's called is going to be called what are the promises that us believers should be looking forward to in the end times? What did the Father prophesy to us through this word? So because he gave us clues on what's going to happen. The only thing is, a lot of people do not read the Bible entirely, so they miss a lot of clues or a lot of prophecies that he talks about. And then so when you do that, and then you just listen to somebody speak, you might not get the whole truth. So today we are going to continue the conversation about what should we be expecting. What are the promises? And at the end of the last episode, I talked about that we, as believers, we should be expecting. So like religion is teaching you to respect the rapture. The rapture, that's religion. Now, the word says we should be expecting a thing called the second Exodus. And the promises, how this whole thing started was in when Israel back in the day, they started worshiping other gods. They angered Yahuwah. So what did he do? So what he did was he cursed them. First thing he did, he cursed them. Then he scattered them around the world. Okay? And then that's what's happening now. We're all scattered around the world. So what we should be waiting for now is a third thing he said he's gonna do. He said after he scatters us, he's gonna gather us again in his area. Okay? So that's exactly what's going on right now, So I started talking about last week that how the people who are living right now in Israel and Jerusalem and that Holy Land area, there's a group of people they're called Jews, but they are not the 12 tribe Jews. They're not the Jews that have been scattered. The Jews that have been scattered are the Abrahamic Jews, which is Father Abraham, his son Isaac, and his son Jacob. And Jacob had 12 children, and they're called the 12 tribes. Jacob's name got changed into Israel, so this is why they're called the 12 tribes of Israel. Well, those individuals, they are not back in Jerusalem right now. They're still scattered. You see, they're still scattered. So I talked about last week about the dry bones and how they're rattling right now. That's the beginning. If you want to find out more about that, check out the episode last week. Okay, so we talked about that. So then, and I'm gonna talk about a download that the Father gave me to explain something. So there's so much information that I'm about to go over that I'm gonna have to break it in, just for time purposes. I'm gonna have to break it into like another episode, maybe next week, and I'll finalize it then. But okay. So before we start anything out, all you guys probably seen, there's this new guy who's claiming to be the Mahdi. He's out there saying that he's the Muhammad successor. He's a successor of Jesus Christ, and he's supposed to be the new pope. And he is the people that the Muslims have been waiting for. You see, he came out. It's all over. If you have not seen this video, just you can always Google it or YouTube, whatever. the new Mahdi. He's claiming he's the new Mahdi, the new prophet. You know what I'm saying? And he's actually getting a lot of followers. So again, the people who are living. Do you want to know who the people? See, the awesome thing about the word is, he tells us exactly everything that's going on, but you just got to pay attention. You have to read and listen to yourself what's going on. Okay, so he told us. I just told you right now that the Jews that are living in Jerusalem and Israel right now, those aren't the Abrahamic Jews, and he told us who they are. And we're gonna go to the word. We're gonna go to the word. And we're gonna go to the word right real quick, and we're gonna go to the word, and I'm gonna read to exactly what's going on right now in Jerusalem. Just let me look at my notes real quick. I got here. Okay, here we go. We're gonna go read right here. Okay, let's look it up. We're gonna go to Revelation. Revelation, the last book of the Bible, chapter 2, verse 9. Okay, so this is who is living in Jerusalem right now, and you see, it's written in red. So whenever it's written in the Bible, is written in red, it's the Father talking. It's Yahushua talking. That's him talking. Okay, so this is him talking right now. This is who's living in Jerusalem right now. Revelation 2:9. Here we go. I know your tribulation and your poverty, but you are rich. And the slander of those who say that they are Jews and are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. See? Those guys they're saying that they're the Jews, Abrahamic Jews, but they are not. You see, it says it right here directly. He tells you exactly. If you pay attention, you can look it up, and he'll tell you exactly what's going on. So that's gonna be part of this teaching, is that I'm actually going to like break it down a little bit. And right now, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of prophets that prophesy similar things about the second Exodus. And so we're going to have a lot of examples that you guys can go back and read yourselves to see that, hey, I'm not just talking out of just a talk. I'm giving you guys word. And like I said, you know what? Hey, the Father has revealed this to me. Yahushua has revealed it to me. Now, he chooses who to reveal the Father to. So a lot of times he put me here to give you guys a message, and it's up to you guys to listen to it or not listen to it, okay? So that's who's living right now in Jerusalem right now. And remember, so everything that has happened in 1948 and 1967 that I talked about last week, everything that's been happening in the history, that is all playbook that the enemy is playing, is running so that he can confuse the masses. That's all religion. See, he's the author of confusion. He wants you guys to be confused, to be sleeping, And so religion, you're not going to hear what I'm about to talk about in religion. At church, you're not going to hear this talk, because you know what? If they talk about this stuff, it's gonna go against a lot of stuff that they're teaching. So, don't take my word for it. Listen to me, hear what I'm saying, and just think about, hey, every Sunday when I go to church, are they talking about this? Because for some reason they're sitting there telling you, oh, hey, do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? And just put your trust in the Father. And they're giving you like goody messages to make you feel better. Make you feel better and make you feel like, oh, you know what? I'm doing the right thing. But we're in the end days. The church should be telling you exactly what you should be expecting and what to be looking forward to. And if you do not know what these things are, hey, do your own homework, because there's no excuse, because it's all written down. Okay. So, now, I talked about a little bit last time, who is the ruler of this world? We're going to go over a couple verses That's going to explain who's the ruler of this world. And the Father himself says it. He says it. And here, let's start right here. We're going to start in John. John chapter 14, verse 29 and 30. Okay, so let's go to John chapter 14, verse 29. All right. Okay. And here it goes. And now I have told you before it takes place, so that when it does take place, you may believe. I will no longer, see, this is the Father, Yahushua's talking, I will no longer talk much with you. For the ruler of this world is coming. You see? So the Father says, hey, there's gonna come a time where I'm gonna stop talking to you guys directly, and there will be a new ruler, and that ruler is the enemy. It says it straight up right now. Let's read another one real quick, just so you guys know I'm not just talking out of saying for just to talk. We're going to go to 1 John 4, chapter 4. Chapter 4, verse 5 and 6. Okay, here we go. They are from the world, therefore they speak from the world, and the world listens to them. This is what's going on right now in Jerusalem. There's a Father saying that they are from the world, and the world is going to listen to them. Okay, but we, this verse 6, we are from God. Whoever knows God listens to us. Whoever is not from God does not listen to us. By this we know the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. That's what's going on. One more example. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9 through 12. Okay, here we go. The coming of the lawless one is by the activity of Satan with all power and false signs and wonders, and with all wicked deception for those who are perishing because they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. See? So that's what's going on right now. The enemy, it's the matrix, okay? He's had a matrix over our eyes that we are enslaved to, okay? We're enslaved to this matrix, and it's our own job to our study ourselves approves to come out of it, and if we do that, he will free our mind. In a minute, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that. Give me 1 minute. So that's what's been going on right now. That's what's going on in Jerusalem. They're not the Jews. They're not the 12 tribe Jews. See that in the word it says when the 12 tribe Jews, when he gathers us back, remember he's cursed us, scared us. When he gathers us back is when we can expect his promises. But you're going to have to put your trust in him. So you know what? Let's go ahead and read what exactly is the covenant that he made with his people. Okay? We're in a straight word, okay? Hold on. So we're going to go to the covenant that he made with his people. Okay, so we're going to shoot over to Deuteronomy chapter 4, and we're going to read from verse 25 to 31. This is the 25. Okay, this is the covenant that he made with his people. Okay, when your father's children and children's children and have grown old in the land, if you act corruptly by making carved images in the form of anything and by doing what is evil in the sight of the Lord your God, so as to provoke him to anger, I call heaven and earth to witness against you today that you will soon utterly perish from the land that you are going over to the Jordan to possess. You will not live long in it, but utterly be destroyed. And the Lord will scatter you amongst the people, and you will be left few in numbers amongst the nations where the Lord will drive you. And there you will serve gods and of wooden and stone, and the works of human hands, that neither see nor hear nor eat nor smell. But from there you will seek the Lord your God, and you will find him, if you search him with all your heart and with all your soul. When you are in tribulation and all things come upon you in the latter days, you will return to the Lord your God and obey his voice. Do you see what I'm saying? He says it just right there, straight up. He's gonna, when they went and took over the promised land, the land that was promised to them, they went in there and they started serving other gods that upset the Father, that upset Yahuwah. So what did he do? It says it straight up right there. He cursed us. He scared us. But in the latter days, he's going to gather us. He's going to gather us. Okay? See, so it says everything right there, exactly what's going to happen, but you must read. And the fact of the matter is, he uses a whole bunch of prophets that talk about the same thing. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and read real quickly so you can see that this is not just in one place. Now we're going to shoot over to Nehemiah. Nehemiah, he's a prophet. Nehemiah 1. Let's read 8 and 9. Chapter 8 and 9. Okay. Here we go. Now this is basically going to say the same thing that I just read, but this is a prophet prophesying. The Father gave him this prophecy. Okay, here we go. 8 and 9. Remember the words that you are commanded your servant Moses, saying, if you are unfaithful, I will scatter you amongst the people. But if you return to me and keep my commandments and do them, though your outcasts are in the outermost of heavens, from there I will gather you and bring them to the place that I have chosen to make my dwelling there. See, once again, he talks about he cursed us, scared us, but then he's gonna bring us back. Now, this one right here, this is one of my favorite ones, because this one right here breaks stuff down. And I'm giving you guys word. Everything that I'm reading here is from the word. You can go look it up yourself and read it for yourself. Do your own homework. If you love the Father enough, you will do it. Trust me. You do not want to not study yourself approved, because when Judgment Day comes, what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say? So here we go. Jeremiah. Let's go to Jeremiah, chapter 23. We're going to read from verse 3 to 8. Okay? And here, he's going to talk about the first Exodus and the second Exodus. See, a lot of people say, it in the Bible doesn't talk about a second Exodus. It doesn't say, just because it doesn't say a second Exodus doesn't mean that it doesn't cover it. I will show you right now where he does cover it. He does cover it. Okay? Jeremiah 23, from 3 to 8. Okay, let's get it. Let's get it. Here we go. Okay. Then I will gather the remnants of my flock out of all the countries where I have driven them, and I will bring them back to their fold, and they shall be fruitful and multiply. I will set shepherds over them who will care for them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall any be missing, declares the Lord. Here we go. Now listen carefully. Behold, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will raise up for David a righteous branch, and he shall reign as king and deal wisely, and shall execute and righteousness in the land. In his day, Judah will be saved, and Israel will dwell securely, and this is the name by which he will be called. The Lord is our righteousness. Therefore, behold, the days are coming. Listen closely. Therefore, behold, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when you shall no longer say, as the Lord lives, who brought the people out of Israel, out of the land of Egypt. That's the first Exodus. But, here goes the second Exodus. But as the Lord lives, who brought up and led the offspring of the house of Israel out of the north countries and out of all the countries where they have been driven, then they shall come back and dwell in their own land. That's the second Exodus. See, it doesn't say second Exodus, but it tells you right now, when we think about the Exodus, we think about the first one, Passover. We think about how saying the father, saying Yahuwah, he used Moses, and with Moses, they were able to break out of that slavery, and then they went into the wilderness, and then from the wilderness they got into the promised land. That's the first Exodus. But now on number 8, it's talking about that's the Exodus. We're not going to talk about that no more. We'll be talking about a new Exodus, which will be happening, and it talks about it on verse 8. See, he's going to gather us. That's what we should be looking for. Okay, so. Okay. All right. Okay. So now, you've heard a little bit about the promises that he's made. You've heard about what we should be expecting, what's going to happen in the last days, his promises. You've heard a couple examples. I will give you many more examples of many other prophets that talk about it similarly. But the fact of the matter is, if you just read the New Testament, you're going to miss out on all these prophecies. You have to read the whole Bible, from beginning to end, because there's a lot that's being spoken by the prophets about the end times. But a lot of times, a lot of times, have you guys heard this at your own churches? Ask yourself, have this topic been brought up that you know of, that you've heard at your own church? Ask yourself. Okay? So, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this download that the Father he gave me. Okay, so in the download that I received, it was shown to me that everything that happened in the first Exodus is just it's the same thing is gonna happen in the second Exodus. Okay. Let me explain. Okay. In the first Exodus, what was going on with Israel? They were enslaved. They were slaves. Okay? Okay? That's the first Exodus. Now bring that to us today. See, it's a different type of slavery. Today we're enslaved in the mind. We are enslaved in here. We're indoctrinated. See, it's slavery, a different type of slavery, but it's still slavery. It's like a foreshadowing of what's happening now. Okay, so then what happened when they were able to, so they went through a tough time. They didn't. Moses didn't go to Pharaoh and be like, "Hey, say, hey, let my people go," and he let them go. No, this is a message from the Most High. Religion, let my people go. Let my people go. So what happened was, before it got better, it got worse. So if you read the story of the first Exodus, the Pharaoh did not want to let them go. So they got all these curses came upon them. Different type of curses. Different type of curses. I mean, the blood turned to water. One of the curses. There was just insects swarming and eating everything up. There was all type of like environmental things going on. And but still, the Pharaoh was hard. He was not letting his people go. So then the last thing that he did was the Father, Yahuwah, he allowed Passover to happen. You see? And then when Passover happened, what Passover was, all it was is he told the Father Yahuwah told his people, "Hey, go and kill yourself a little lamb, sacrifice a lamb, grab some blood of the lamb and put it above your doorpost. And today, when the curse that I sent to Egypt goes by, he's gonna go and he's gonna kill the firstborn of everything, animals, like the firstborn kids, and everything that was the firstborn. He was gonna kill everybody, unless they had that blood over the door." That's why it's called Passover. So then, while the spirit of death was coming and killing all the firstborn of everything, he would come by and see, oh, this one right here, this house has been sealed. I gotta pass this house over, and go to the next one. That's where I can. And so what happened was, all the Israelites, none of them that had the blood on top of their door, none of their firstborns died, but everybody else did. The Pharaoh's son died. So the Pharaoh was like, I can't, it was too much. And he finally let them go. Okay. So now let's bring it to now. Let's bring it to today. So today, it's going to get tough before it gets better, right? It's going to get tough before it gets better. So we actually are looking forward for the tribulation, because the tribulation is all those curses that the Father sent to Egypt. All those curses are going to happen in the tribulation. The same curses, even multiplied even more, but it's still the same. It's still the same thing's going to happen. Everything's going to get harder before it gets better. So what happened when Pharaoh let the Israelites go? That's what's going to happen with us. Through the tribulation, you're going to have to put your trust in the Father. There's nothing that we can do that's going to help us prepare for this. This is why we must be prepared beforehand. This is why I'm out here telling you this. Prepare yourself. And it's not physical. It's spiritual. It's spiritual. So what happened was, the Israelites, they went into their wilderness, right? But in the wilderness, they ran out of food. The water, protection from like animals, all these things. They had to put their trust in the Father. And what happened? The Father sent manna. He sent out bread from heaven every morning and fed them. You see, we're gonna be going through the tribulation, but you're gonna have to put your trust in Him, and He will take you through the tribulation and get you through it, as long as your trust is in Him, just like He got the Israelites through the wilderness for those 40 years. So that's what's happening right now. Right now, we are waiting. We're enslaved right now. We're enslaved. So we're the same as they were enslaved in Egypt. We are right now enslaved in the mind. Now, we're waiting for something to happen. We're waiting for something to happen. And those are the promises that he talks about. And we're going to go over that into more detail later. But keeping with the download. So then after they walk through their wilderness, which our wilderness will be the great tribulation. After the wilderness they walk through theirs, this is gonna be ours. Okay? What happened after they walked through their wilderness? They were able to take over the land that was promised to them. It's called the promised land. It was promised to Abraham generations before. Well, our promised land is that Yahusha is going to come down with the New Jerusalem and we will reign with him for 1,000 years. See, that's the promise that we're looking forward to. As religion is teaching, hey, you know what? We're not going to be here for that. There's going to be a rapture, and you know what? Do your own homework. Where in the Bible does it say? I'm going to give you guys a whole bunch of examples. If I can't get to today, I'm going to give you guys a whole bunch of examples of what I'm talking about. Okay? So of the second Exodus, we're going to read a whole bunch of examples. We'll do that next week, But see, there is one. We'll go over that. We'll go over the Bible verses that will multiply what I'm saying, and just so you guys can see, I want to take my time with it, and I'm gonna read all of them for you guys. I want to read everything for you guys, so there's no question. Maybe you guys will open your mind and be like, you know what? Maybe I might have been bamboozled. Maybe I am an apostate. I was one. You don't have to stay an apostate though. Apostate is falling away from Yahusha, following the world. You know what? You know how hard it is for someone that's followed a certain religion for so many years to admit that they might be bamboozled and that they're an apostate? You know how hard that is? It's going to be difficult. It takes a level of the opposite of pride, a level of what's the word I'm looking for right now? Just admitting that a level of basically admitting that you've been wrong. There we go. Here's what I'm looking for. It takes a level of humbleness. You have to humble yourself. You have to humble yourself to say, hey, you know what? And then go and study yourselves approved. Go talk to your pastors about this topic. Why are we learning about these things at church? Why are you just telling me, feel me good sermon so I can feel good? If I'm good with this, I'm good with that. You know what? Everything's going to be okay. You know what? All that's going to lead you straight to the Antichrist. Which is, if this guy that we talked about in the beginning, this prophet that's his fake, that he says he's the successor of Muhammad and he's the successor of Jesus Christ, guess what? If you don't do your homework, you will be led to them. But if you do your homework, you'll be awake and you'll know, that's not what the word says. So next week, we will go over a whole bunch of examples of the second Exodus and what we should be waiting for. And it all begins with Jacob's trouble. Jacob, his name was changed to Israel. Jacob, he had 12 sons. The 12 tribes of Israel are his sons. It all begins since way over there, way back then. Okay? And guys, you know what? Hey, sometimes it's hard for me to come out here because I was you guys. I was you guys not too long ago. I talked about this last week. I was you guys, All I want to do is just bring some light to this this slavitude that we are in, and unless we accept, the truth, we're gonna be led astray. We're gonna be led astray, and then you will not be ready for when the great tribulation comes and hits. You're not gonna be sealed. You're gonna have to be on your own. Yes, you can still come out of it on your own, but you're gonna have to give up your head. You're gonna have to get your head cut off. It's the only way, because if you take that mark of that beast in the forehead or in the hand, there's no coming back. So yes, you can still come out of the great tribulation and still be a part of the first resurrection. Those guys that get their heads cut off, they're going to be a part of the first resurrection. And that's when Yahushua comes down with the New Jerusalem. Those people that got their head cut off, they will come back to life, and they were going to reign with Yahushua for 1,000 years. Now, I heard a quote. Man. I think it was so awesome. I'm not sure exactly, what I'm saying. In my studies, it came into through a video of one of my studies. So I want to, and I was like, you know what? This is exactly, really, this is exactly how I feel. I feel okay. So here we go. I will not walk across the stage. I will not come here in this podcast. I will not come here to talk to you about religion. No, I'm not here to talk to you about religion. But I will crawl on my hands and knees through broken glass to hell and back to tell you about the love of my Savior, Yahusha. And that's why I'm here. Because you know what? If I can help out one person, man, they won't have to go through the tribulation. They'll be sealed. Oh my goodness, how awesome is that? But for those who reject his message, you're on your own. Hey, self-will, the Father gave it to us. And that's what's up. So, that'll be it for today's episode. From the Okenda perspective, God bless you. Stay safe. Stay smooth. I'm out. Peace.